Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network. Welcome to Gun Sports Radio, all about shooting, hunting, self-defense, and more. Now, here are the hosts of Gun Sports Radio, Dave Stahl and Lance Pelkey.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome. Gun Sports Radio, AM 1170. We are the answer. Hey, this show is sponsored by Gun Range San Diego, commonly known as the Nordstrom's Gun Range San Diego, that is. 7853 Balboa Avenue in San Diego, 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Go to gunrangesandiego.com, and once you go, you'll go back again and again and again. These folks will take care of you like you are family. We've got, you wish that was money. You wish that was money.
That's my notes for later today.
Yeah, and it's written in crayon. Boy, this guy is on.
Well, I am a Marine. I was able to write all the notes before I ate the crayon. So.
I like that. Hey, I just have to mention this Paris Auto Speedway last night.
Yep.
Normally, they have their heat races, and they do the national anthem and the American flag, and the guys are always in the car getting ready to go. Well, because of all this NFL jazz, all the NASCAR drivers now get out of their cars, stand at attention while the national anthem. Then they get in the car. Get strapped in, because before they didn't do it because it was too. They didn't want to waste any time.
Yes, a lot of time to get.
Not anymore. This weekend they did it, and next weekend at Paris Auto Speedway, no driver will be strapped in. He will stand and salute. And it was the drivers that came up with the idea.
America.
That's
awesome.
Real America.
Hey, who we got on? Oh, by the way, we got Michael Schwartz in the house.
The one and only.
The one and only. And then we have, of course, Lance Pelkey.
And Michelle is departing us.
And Michelle is she's taking her 400 pounds of paperwork with her. Her Sparko shoes.
But she left her cookies. That's all that matters.
She left her cookies, and nothing better than that.
Don't go down that road.
So who you got calling in?
You know, we have our good friend Lance Reeder firing us up on that 5th annual charity shoot in beautiful Pahrump, Nevada, and he wants to. I wanted to come on and give us some more details. And so, Mr. Lance, are you on the horn?
Yeah, Dave, Lance, thanks for having me on the show today. I'm here.
Good, man. Are you out there in the 100-degree weather out there in the backcountry somewhere, or where are you at?
Yeah, it's a pretty warm day today, and I think it's supposed to get over 100 in the next couple of days.
Beautiful.
I'm doing my best to stay cool.
Southern California.
Thanks for having me on the show today. And, I just want to tell everybody about the 5th annual handgun/rifle course that I host once a year to raise money for leukemia and lymphoma. The next one is coming up in 5 months, and the reason that we give people such a big heads up is because a lot of people need time to plan this, because it is out of town. It's just outside of Vegas at a beautiful facility called Frontsight Firearms Training Institute. And since it's out of town and it is over a weekend, people need time to put in their vacation request, get the dog sitter lined up, book their hotels and things like that. So that's why I appreciate you having me on the show today to give everybody 5 months' notice to get their ducks in a row and come out and join us.
Yeah, we're looking forward to. I know I'm looking forward to going. What are you going to bring this year when you shoot?
What am I going to?
Yep.
I will probably bring a Springfield Armory XD 5.25-inch barrel competition series.
Oh, it's so beautiful, so beautiful, and. Give us the dates one more time, because I know Veronica from the Gun Range San Diego is listening, and I want to make sure she knows what dates I'm about to request off of work.
Yep.
That's awesome, Hollywood. The date is March 23rd through the 26th, coming up in exactly 5 months. So March 23rd through the 26th. And people have the option of coming out joining us for 2 days, for 3 days, or the full 4 days. Because I know if some of our listeners have never had formalized training, 4 days may seem daunting, and they may want to dip their toes in the water and just try it for 2 days. And you know what? We would love to have you come out. If you just want to dip your toes in the water, or you can't get that much vacation time off, we'd love to have you join us for 2 days, 3 days, or if you can make it, the full 4 days.
And you've been on here a couple of times. You talked about it. You talked about how last year's was such a big success and how it's growing every year and every year. For those listeners who haven't heard yet, can you kind of give us some background on why this all started, how you got it all involved with this?
Well, it all started, I lost a dear friend 4.5 years ago to leukemia, and she loved shooting. And in fact, she loved training out at this facility out of Frontsight, and she fought it for 9 months, and she lost the battle. And I decided then and there that I wanted to do something to help the people that are still fighting leukemia and lymphoma, to give them a chance of winning. And I don't know a lot of things, Hollywood, but I do know shooting. And so I decided to take what I know and give back to the community and help those that are still fighting the battle. So 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, I started my first one, and I think we raised a little over $5,000 that first year, which is impressive for a weekend.
Absolutely.
But it's grown just unbelievable from year to year. Everybody that goes through the event comes back and tells 10 friends. In fact, we were 73% bigger this year than we were last year. And this year, this spring, we raised $27,600 in one weekend for leukemia.
That's awesome.
That really is. And you can say what you want to say about, how divided people may feel or not feel right now, but, cancer, lymphoma, leukemia, those kind of things, they do not discriminate at all. And for everyone to get together and, for a cause like this, it's really important. So my hats are off to you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hollywood.
I've gone the last few years, and one thing I really, really like about, I hate not knowing what I'm doing. So sometimes going to a school or a class or going out of town, like for a multi-day thing, it's intimidating because you don't really know how it's going to go. But I got to tell you, from soup to nuts, man, from the time you roll in till the time, all the way up through dinner, you're totally taken care of. When you show up, they show you exactly where to go. They show you exactly what to do. It's more of a resort attitude than it is a drill instructor attitude. And then Lance does a fantastic job. He puts everybody together on the from San Diego. They're all on the same range. And then afterwards, Lance puts together dinners so everybody can meet up and have dinner together. And they're super inexpensive. And he just does a really, really good job of kind of, holding everybody's hand and making sure that everybody feels included. Everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to be doing, when they're supposed to be doing it. And I just think it's just the best. I'm going every year as long as you have it, Lance.
Thank you. And you're bringing your wife this year, right?
Bringing my wife. First time she'll ever have gone to Front Sight. And we're not sure if we're going to do a 2 or a 3 day out of the 4 day, but we can't wait. Look forward to it.
She's going to embarrass you. She's going to outshoot you.
I was about to say, only because she's going to outshoot him.
That's the only reason. And so be ready that she's going to outshoot you.
That's right. She can embarrass me all. It's how proud I am when I'm around her. That makes up for any.
I want to be there when she embarrasses you on the range that you are standing there with a smile. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, if she shoots anything like she plays tennis or shoots a bow, then he's in big trouble if he wants to compete with her.
She's a deadeye, man. She's really good.
I think he's already in trouble.
But I tell you, go ahead,
Michael. I'm glad you mentioned you're bringing your beautiful wife Laura, because this is a family-oriented training. So this isn't just a bunch of guys going out and doing GI Joe type of stuff. This is a family training facility. It's husbands and wives with sons and daughters. It's nieces and nephews with aunts and uncles and grandparents and grandkids. It's the whole family going out and learning valuable life-saving skills, and then also raising just a ton of money for leukemia and lymphoma. So, I'm excited about Laura coming out for her first time. I know she's going to have a wonderful time, and she's bringing some of her family members too, right?
Yep, her sister and a couple of my buddies are coming. It's going to be a whole little vacation thing, and you're also doing some drawings too, right?
Yep. Absolutely. We, in addition to the really fun barbecue dinners and things that we do, we hold a big raffle out there every year. This past spring, we gave away 10 brand new firearms, 7 handguns, 2 beautiful Remington 870 tactical shotguns, and also a just super amazing custom-coated, custom-engraved 6.5 Creedmoor precision rifle. We also gave away, raffled off 7,500 rounds of ammo. And now we're actually hoping to double this for the next event coming up, number 5. We're hoping to give away 20 firearms and 15,000 rounds of ammo. So we have a lot of fun sending people home with brand new weapons.
Wow. And a website again?
Is www.charitycourse.gives. So it's not .com, it's www.charitycourse.gives. All the information, the when, where, how cost, everything's on the website.
And San Diego County Gun Owners is a very proud sponsor of this event.
Absolutely.
And I'd also probably mention, too, if Lance, you're looking for people to maybe donate for your
event.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be gun-related. It could be hotels. It could be airfare. It could be boating. It could be anything. All right. Hey, bud, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you very much for taking time out of your afternoon when you could have been shooting, but you know how that goes. Got to work every once in a while.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Our pleasure, buddy. Yeah. All right, take care. Hey, we come back. John Dillon's in the wings. He's ready to just come out with the most good news you could ever imagine. Yeah, right.
Get new tires on the Tesla.
Yeah, he got new tires on his Tesla. He got new tires on his Tesla. Hey, folks, don't forget to go to SanDiegoCountyGunOwners.com. Sign up. It's a measly $10 a month. Come on, you get more bang for your buck. Help support your Second Amendment rights. If you don't get involved, you can't say a word. Right here on Gun Sports Radio, AM 1170, The Answer. Folks, hey, welcome back. You are listening to Gun Sports Radio. This segment's brought to you by Trident Gunsmithing, www.tridentgunsmithing.com. Hey, they've still got specials on 22s over there. They're freaking out that nobody's come over and checked them out. But I'm telling you, I've cut them a deal. I told them if anybody comes over there and mentions, except for Michael, Lance, and Hollywood, can come over there and mention they heard it on KCBQ, and there's a special discount on top of the discount that they're already doing. So, folks, go to TridentGunsmithing.com, take a look, go over there, give them a lot of static. Hey, we got John Dillon on the line, attorney at law, Gatsky Dillon in Balance. No, this is not a law firm show. This is a gun sports show, and John is the man when it comes to the legal side of gun ownership, Second Amendment rights. He is, I'm serious, a one-man band. You can go to cafirearmslaw.com, cafirearmslaw.com. You can actually ask him a question. There'll be no charge. He'll do that to help you out. And if your story or question is good, he'll actually bring it on air. You can also call him at 760-431-9501. John, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. And I take it since you didn't list my name, I'm going to head over to Trident Gunsmithing real quick and pick up a couple 22s.
I'm only hooking you up, buddy. You go right ahead. If I didn't call your name, I'm just trying to help you out, buddy.
Yeah, I explicitly was paying attention, and my name was not listed as one that didn't count.
That's true. So, hey, what's going on, man? What's the good news?
Well, not much good news when it comes to firearms legal updates. I don't really have a lot for you there.
Hang up, Timmy. Hang up on him.
Well, yeah, we had a couple of the bills that were signed a little over a week ago by Governor Brown, further restricting open carry in California. But I believe you guys touched on that a little bit last week. Mm-hmm. But what I do have is Al from Santee. He sent in some questions when it came to the people who have CCWs, how and what's the best way to, have your firearm when you're in your vehicle and how to store it with your magazines and all that. So what I did is, instead of just answering his question, I wanted to kind of go over just some general tips and guidelines for those who do have concealed weapon permits in California, just to make things as smooth as possible and so to help you guys not run into any trouble. Because too often people call my office because they have, a criminal infraction, misdemeanor, even felony, because they weren't paying attention and they, didn't take the extra 2 minutes to make sure they had all the proper stuff together, they stored it the right way, and then they ended up getting in trouble off of a technicality that they could have fixed if they really paid attention before they left for work that morning. So, basically, when it comes to CCW, the first thing, and I think you guys will agree on this, is don't skip on your gear. Mainly, this is holster requirements. If you have a CCW permit, spend the money to get a proper holster, not a $25 Walmart holster that you stick in your pocket. Get something right that fits you, that fits the gun, specifically the gun you're carrying, and that doesn't, fail when you need it most. So that's a good, just right off that thing. Also, wear the right clothes. As the attorney, I always tell clients, don't wear the tactical clothing. If you're a CCW holder and you have your CCW on you, don't wear the patches, don't wear Second Amendment gear. I know, we're fans of it, and it is something we support openly. But when you have a CCW, you want to not bring attention to yourself, and you don't want people looking at you saying, "Oh, what's this guy with the AR-15 shirt on?" So that's just one thing you got to kind of consider. Dress up, wear the nice formal attire, semi-formal attire, business casual.
Dress like you're going to a PTA meeting, right?
Yeah, it does have a real legitimate effect. You can talk to law enforcement; they'll tell you the same thing. They look for certain things. They look for those tactical pants, the boots, the certain jackets or T-shirts or hats when they're walking through the crowd or going on patrol.
Honestly,
catch their eye.
Every time I see like the tactical pants and the and the tactical polos, stuff like that, if I see somebody with that, I immediately start seeing to look. I try to see if they're printing.
Yeah, see if they're printing a firearm. Absolutely.
Yep. Exactly. So we all do it. So you know that law enforcement does it, and again, you don't want to bring attention to yourself. So these are the little things that'll help. When you're driving your car, this is a huge thing. This is something that everyone always forgets because it's not something high on everyone's priority list. But have the proper and up-to-date information when you're driving your car. That means your proper driver's license updated with your current address, not expired. You want your registration, the up-to-date current registration. You want your insurance, and you want your CCW permit with you when you're driving. The worst thing you can do while you're driving, let alone while you're driving with the CCW, is not have the proper paperwork. When you do get pulled over, you want to be able to have all that stuff ready to go in an easily accessible place in your car, and preferably not in your glove compartment or not in your center console. You don't want to be reaching into areas where the officer can't see. So if you, stash your paperwork in your sun visor, like paper clip it up there so it's right there in front of your face, visible to the officer, keeps your hands in front. That's always a good recommendation to have.
You're talking about registration and insurance for your car?
Yeah.
Just make sure you have that.
And you remember they used to make those...
if you do get pulled over, have your license out, have your CCW permit out already in your hand or on your dash ready to go. So you're not fumbling around looking through your car and kind of putting the officer on edge because if he knows you're carrying, or if in general he's just a little on edge, you don't want to be diving into the corners and dark crevices of your car reaching for stuff that he doesn't know what it is. So,
well, you know what, John?
Do yourself a favor.
John, they're still available. I was looking for one the other day, and I went to the Napa Auto Parts store, and they actually had them. But remember when they used to have those clip-on on your visor where you could keep your registration?
Oh, yeah.
Why not, if you have a CCW, and why not just go get one, put it on the visor, and put everything in there? That way there's no, because you're absolutely right. The minute you give that police officer any reason to doubt, you're in trouble.
Well, I'm going to just play the devil's advocate just for a little bit.
Which you do that well.
I do that well. So the whole reason you guys started this show, the whole reason we're here is to stop the taboo about gun ownership.
Yes.
And now, especially in California, if you have proven that you are worthy of having a concealed weapons permit in the state of California, it seems to me, with all the hoops you have to jump through, with all the background checks you have to do, with all the training you have to do, it seems to me if a police officer sees, this guy has a concealed weapons permit, he should have no problems at all about how you move about your car because you've been through so many background checks, you've got zero police involvement, and you have to show that you're properly trained with a firearm. So there's no reason for a law enforcement officer to be nervous about you having a firearm whatsoever.
You've had a background check. There are fingerprints on file. Yeah, it should be.
I
In most
agree
states,
with
It should be.
in most states, that's how it is, but that's not how it is.
So that's the whole reason why we did the show. Is we got to stop. We got to change the mindset, not just of the populace, but of the government and everyone.
Hey, John.
No, and I get that. And the thing that I'm doing is I don't like to rely on other people to determine what happens. So if everything that I do is structured, set up, pre-prepared, I know exactly how I'm going to handle the situation, it leaves less for the other guy to mess up on.
That's a true
whether
story.
that's
Absolutely.
another person or another officer. If everything's already ready to go and I'm calm, I know exactly what I'm doing, it just shows that, like you said, hey, I've been through training, I've been through the background checks, I know how this works. I'm prepared for this kind of type of interaction, and it's going to be a pleasant one because I'm prepared and because I've thought about it. And these are the types of things. If you are a concealed carry holder, you should really think about this stuff, just so you're not in a questionable situation, so you know exactly what you're doing. And the officer, they will see that. And if you're polite, obviously you guys aren't enemies. They'll see that and they'll respond accordingly. It's
do you recommend?
I like to say it always happens, but sometimes it doesn't. The best thing to do is always be prepared on your end.
Do you recommend it's kind of two questions? If you have a CCW or if you don't have a CCW, if you're coming back from the range or you're going to the range and you don't have a CCW, do you recommend? I've heard people tell the police officer, "Hey, I have a firearm in the trunk" or whatever. Do you recommend? Is that necessary? Do you recommend that at all? And if you have a CCW, do you recommend telling the police officer that?
So if you don't have a CCW and you're driving back from the range or something like that, the first thing you always want to make sure is that you are transporting your firearms properly. So if you have a car with a trunk, you have your guns unloaded in a case in the trunk, lock that trunk, separate from ammunition, unload your magazines, don't have rounds in your magazines, even if it's separate from your gun. I like to be overly cautious. So put each gun in a case. If you can lock that case, great. Put it in a trunk. If you can lock that trunk, great. So I like to be overly cautious. So when you're driving back, let's say you do have, an officer pulls you over some, traffic violation or anything like that, you're under no obligation to tell him you have, a firearm in your trunk locked up. He may ask if you have weapons in the car. As an attorney, I always tell my clients, you have the Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. It is not there's no obligation to tell them everything about you and what you're doing. What you have is, you're legally transporting your firearms back home, and that's okay. So you can either stay silent, you can tell them, although I'm usually more on the stay silent or respond in a way like, yeah, there's nothing illegal in the car.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hey, buddy, that was phenomenal. Yeah. How do you get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can call in. It's 760-431-9501, or you can contact us through cafirearmslaw.com.
All right, buddy. Hey, look forward to talking to you down the road, and be safe. And, folks, check this guy out if you really want to get the right scoop. John, thank you again. Folks, that is Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance LLP.
Go out there and wax that Ford.
Yeah, 760-431-85. No, it's waxed. It's waxed. I seen it the other day.
I was talking about my Ford.
No, we ain't waxing that thing. Brooke's doing that, isn't she? As he chokes. All right, folks, we're going to take a small break. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio, AM 1170. The Answer. Folks, hey, welcome back. The show off air is way more fun than on air. Gun Sports Radio, show 64. Dave Stahl, Lance Pelkey, Michael Kors in Hollywood in the house. Folks, you should be here. The show is much better here.
You had a what?
Hey, you can listen to us at AM 1170 The Answer app. Go to our website to download it, or you can like us on Facebook.com/Gun Sports Radio / we're here for you.
Hey, Dave, can I give a quick shout out to one of our listeners, Chad, just posted a really interesting article. Concealed carry permit holders less reckless behind the wheel than other drivers, study says. And there's a whole study on foxnews.com that shows that people that have CCWs are far safer drivers.
Well, I think they're safer in general. I mean, they've been trained, and they have rules, regulations, and all those good things.
What happened to me?
I have no clue, my friend. I have no clue. Hey, Gun Range San Diego is the sponsor of this segment.
Absolutely.
7853 Balboa Avenue in San Diego, 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Gun Range San Diego, the Nordstrom of gun ranges, but not the price. This segment is sponsored, again, like San Diego, or darn it, Gun Range San Diego. And guess who's in the house? Hollywood. Joe Hollyfield in the house. How you doing, bud?
I am doing great. Had a great weekend at the Gun Range San Diego this weekend, and got lots of, we're coming up on our anniversary next month, so, look out for that big sale happening.
Do we have to buy you something?
Not me. You might want to buy Veronica.
I'll buy Veronica.
Yeah, buy Veronica something. But we're coming up on our deal, and over the last few years, our whole thing is customer satisfaction over there. It's all about taking care of the customers. And one of the things that we've heard the customers say, complain, ask for, whatever, is for CCW classes. They go online, they try to find them, and this instructor has one class every 6 weeks, and this instructor has a class, but it gets canceled because he doesn't get enough people to sign up. Like a 20-person minimum or whatever. So we bought a room in the building next door, a big classroom, and we just hired John Groff, who is a
Great guy.
Great guy.
Yep.
Yeah, and who is a CCW instructor. He's a former police department. He used to train at the police department training academy. Between him and Manny over there, there's about 60 years worth of firearms training. And so we have our own classes, and we're going to be able to do small groups, semi-private and completely private CCW training. So it's not like one of those deals where you have to wait till the third Sunday of the second, month or whatever. You come in there, you sign up, and you can do one-on-one. You can do a small group. You can do, just a family type deal, or you can sign up for one of the larger classes. And so what we're doing is we're tailoring it to what the customers need, what the customers want, so you can get your training when you need your training. So we're really excited about getting John on board, and we're really looking forward to starting these classes. So look at the gunrangesandiego.com, thegunrangesandiego.com, and all of that stuff will be on the website here in the next week or so.
Yeah, the important part of that is there's a very short window you have from the time if you go in and apply for your CCW and are approved. There's a very short window of time you have to take your class and complete it successfully. So the more options you have, the better.
Absolutely, and we've heard a lot of customers that just and thankfully we having the facilities and the range, our hands are less tied than others. So that's a good thing about it. But we've heard customers talking about, hey, I need to get this, or I had to start my whole process all over again because I signed up for a class that was canceled because not enough people signed up. So we're going to do it, and when you're ready to do it, you set it up between you and John, and it's going to get done. And that's going to be a great thing about it. So it's all about the customer's convenience. I
just had lunch. Our 10-ring members had lunch with Duncan Hunter, and Veronica was there.
Yeah,
and we talked about the Second Amendment and all kinds of cool stuff. And I thanked Veronica and for doing the classroom. I think we need a lot more classroom space in San Diego, and I'm really excited about having some of our monthly meetings there. And Veronica, if you're listening, I picked up your coffee cup. I'll get it back to you. You left it at the restaurant. I got it. But I think that's great. I see a lot of people. People spend a lot of money on guns, and I certainly don't discourage that. But they need to spend more money on ammo, and they need to spend even more money on classes, and they probably need to spend a lot more money on getting the right people elected. But I'm really excited about more classroom space in San Diego.
Exis, who is a big part of the San Diego County gun owners, and he's also teaches classes for the Gun Range San Diego. He and I were talking this morning. He had some students this morning. We were at the Gun Range San Diego 8:00 this morning, doing some training. And he and I both were talking. Even with between the two of us, with all the training we've had, all the training we do, all the people, being instructors ourselves, we had a great, 10 or 15 minute conversation about how important it is, even for us, to go through training. Anytime we can get training, especially at a discounted rate, we'll go do it, because you never know that one thing that this trainer does, or he is, improved on a technique that, turns that light bulb on your head, like, oh, I never tried it that way, even for guys who have been shooting all our lives. So I'm with you. You just I cannot emphasize how important training is when it comes to firearms.
So when's the training going to start?
And we got, not only we got our anniversary coming up, we're on our 12 days of, our 12 guns of Christmas. So for this whole week, we've had the Remington V3 semi-automatic 12-gauge shotgun on sale for $5.99. That's it's a ridiculously low price.
Terrific.
I'm thinking about buying one, putting an extended magazine tube on there, making it my 3-gun shotgun. I mean, it's super lightweight, looks good, shoots great. And next week we're doing the Glock 19, but we have it in OD green. The often talked about, rarely seen OD green Glocks from the factory. So instead of buying a Glock and then taking it to your local, Cerakoting shop and paying the $200 to get Cerakoted, you can get it straight from the factory for $4.99.
Jeez! Wow, $4.99.
Yeah, $4.99. Yep.
That's good for any Glock.
That's good for any Glock. Yeah, and then you get the green ones, which are it's a limited run Glock. They only do this about every 3 or 4 years, where they'll make it, and then of course with the California, the ridiculous approved roster for California handguns. A black Glock 19 and a green Glock 19 are the same gun, and a gray one is also the same gun. But guess what? The gray one's not on the California approved roster list. Yeah.
It must not be safe.
Exactly, because it's gray.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What if you're colorblind?
It's kind of ridiculous.
So whether or not it's safe, would you call that a gray area?
I didn't make him do that.
And then we got, with the 12 guns of Christmas, we'll also be on the lookout on our website. We're going to be doing some packages for Christmas coming up. Whether you're doing it for yourself, or you're buying a gift for someone else, we're going to be doing some packages where, you buy the gun and you get some accessories, attached with that for a discounted price, or maybe even getting your a membership at a discounted price along with the gun. So we got a lot of stuff that's in the works over the next few months, with Christmas coming up, our anniversary sale, and of course the 12 guns of Christmas.
That's awesome. Right. Hey, when do all the classes and everything start? When's the classroom, or what's the timeline on that?
Well, we got the classroom a few weeks ago, and Veronica has the guys who own the building love Veronica, because I think
who doesn't love Veronica?
Yeah, well, I think she just improved their property value, because she went in there, she gutted the room, put up changed the walls, brought in some high end carpeting, brought great She
brought it up to the Nordstrom standard.
Exactly. She brought it up to the Veronica standard. So
crown molding. And,
it really is a beautiful classroom. So she brought that in there. So it's going to be on our website, all the numbers and schedules and things like that. So just keep checking in at thegunrangesandiego.com, and you'll find out what's going on, and we'll have all the different things there. And talk about people coming in and talking, and it really is a family atmosphere over there, where everybody comes in and hangs out. Going back to talking about Lance Reeder's thing, and just me and some of the other employees talking about going. We had some customers like, oh, we went last year. We met so and so and so and so, and they're meeting us here to shoot today. And so not only is it a great opportunity to go out there and have a good time and get some great training, but you're going to meet people that
friends.
They're going to they might be your friends for life.
Yeah. And the good news is, gun people are the best people in the world too, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's great. So a lot of things out there, a lot of fun things going on at Gun Range San Diego. And then to touch a little bit on to getting into John Dillon's segment, talking about some questions people have. Had a customer come in today and was confused about the 30 days between purchasing handguns.
Yeah.
Now in in California, you can purchase one handgun every 30 days. And what that means is that doesn't mean take possession of. That doesn't mean, it just means when
you start the paperwork.
The day
the paperwork is
the day you start the paperwork, because
That's when you're 30 days.
Because when you do your DROS, your dealer record of sale, that dealer record of sale is good for 30 days. So once you do it on one handgun, it's good for 30 days. So you get your 10 days. You have to wait at least 10 days to pick it up, and then you have 20 more days in that window. And if for whatever reason you leave town, you get busy, whatever happens, you don't pick up your gun within 30 days, you have to start the whole process over again. Right. So, but what a lot of people do, they get confused. They think, oh, well, I purchased my gun, did my paperwork.
I'll go get it when I get around to it.
Well, they come in and they say, well, I purchased my gun on the 10th, and I picked it up on the 20th. Well, now I can't go get a gun until the 20th of the next month. That's not the case. It's the 10th of the next month.
I got you. So everything is from the start.
From the start. So when you get every gun store should give you a copy of what's called your DROS, your dealer record of sale. And it's going to have all your pertinent information on there, the gun information, the dealership information. And up in the top left-hand corner, there's going to be 3 dates. It's going to say transaction date. That's the day it happened. It's going to say earliest pickup date. That's your 10-day window. And then it's going to say latest pickup date. And that's the end of the 30 days. Right. 1 second. And it's down to the second. It'll have an hour, minute, and second on there.
Is that on the receipt? It actually
has.
Yeah.
1 second after that latest pickup date, you can do you can buy a new gun. Or if you haven't picked up your gun, you're going to have to do it again.
You got to start all over again.
Yeah, wow. We also had a lady come in today, and she was excited to pick up hers. She's a part of the Well-Armed Women, and the Well-Armed Women did those customized LWRC AR-15s.
Yeah, that's right.
And she came in and was so excited to pick it up. I'm like, you got an hour and a half. She's like, no, it's the same day. I'm like, you got an hour. I mean, it is down to the second.
So she went in the range, did a little shooting.
So she went in the range and shot for a while, and she's a gold member, so no time limit for her. So she went in the range, and then she was watching her clock. She came right out right at the time, and we got it to her. She
got her gun, and she went right back in the range.
Right back in there shooting. Yep.
And society is so much safer that she had to wait that hour.
Absolutely. I was so happy. I feel much better.
Well, the 10-day wait is so arbitrary. They say it's a cooling off period. But they proved that it's not just a cooling off period. They proved that it's an infringement because when someone sued and said, well, I already have a firearm, I don't need a cooling off period. If I wanted to harm somebody with a firearm, I would just go home and grab mine. But the court said, no, that doesn't infringe, and it's...
The cooling off period is only for people that don't plan to do anything illegal. The people that are going to shoot you don't care about the 10 days.
That's
they're going
to
shoot you.
Exactly.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Michael Schwartz has got some exciting news for us.
Yes, I do.
Right here on Gun
Finally, some good news.
Yeah, really, we've been dying for it. Trident Gunsmithing sponsored this segment. TridentGunsmithing.com. TridentGunsmithing.com. They got a special deal on 22s. You need to go to the website to find out. And if you mention you heard it on KCBQ AM 1170 Gun Sports Radio, there is a pretty hefty discount in there for you. So check these guys out. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, a whole lot more right here on AM 1170. All right, folks, hey, welcome back. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio. Hey, if you have a question for us or you'd like us to respond, www.info@gunsportsradio.com. We will answer any and all emails. If you maybe want to come on the show, you have a topic that you think is worthy, feel free to give us an email, and we'll definitely check that out. We're happy to do so. Right now, Michael Schwartz is here to discuss applying for a concealed carry in San Diego. Is that ever going to happen? I'll be happy as a clam.
So here's what we got going on. So last week we had our monthly meetings, and the big topic was all 3 monthly meetings. Was CCWs, as of course. Now, from day one, from the very first time, and we launched San Diego County Gun Owners with an interview on KUSI, and from day one, we have criticized Sheriff Gore for his CCW policies, and rightfully so.
Right.
We've been in the media. We've done it. We've vetted out candidates. We've been all over it. We've met with them. We've spoken to his supporters. And we've shined a bright light on what's going on. We had the Santee City Council pass a resolution saying, yes, Sheriff, you need to issue CCWs. And I found out last week too that the Vista City Council is going to do the same in December, which is fantastic. We're talking to other cities about issuing and going around. We have done everything we could possibly think of, to put political pressure on him and to change what's going on when it comes to CCWs in San Diego. So the reason I'm recapping all that is that there's reason to believe that although it doesn't sound like he's going to issue in the manner that we want him to, because we believe that your good cause is your life. It's self-defense. But there's very real, credible reason to believe that he is keeping his same written policy, but actually expanding and issuing to more people. So what we're asking people to do, and what I've asked people to do at the meetings, we're asking our members, and we're asking our board members, and we're asking the listeners, we're asking everybody to do a couple of things. Look it up online. So you go to the sheriff's website online, okay, under the CCW section. Call the number, and say, hey, I want to make an appointment to get my CCW, and then make the appointment, and then jot down 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different reasons that you could think of where you would want or need a CCW.
Honest reasons.
No
lying, no blowing smoke. Don't tell them that you're an undercover agent and you need a CCW.
Right.
But I think you hear hitting on something. If every one of our listeners did that and choked the phone lines up and
but here's what I'm hearing. So let me continue a little bit. So do that. Okay, go down there and then say to them, hey, here are the 5 or 6 or 7 reasons I want a CCW, where a CCW would be useful to defend my life. Don't say because it's in the Constitution. Don't say because of the Second Amendment. But be creative. Hey, I go out hiking and camping and there's no law enforcement out there, and I've run into animals and bad characters. Or hey, I'm a contractor and I got a bunch of expensive equipment and or whatever, something like that. So the reason I'm telling people to do this and asking them to do this is because we've had a number of reports that they have changed as a result of the meetings and the pressure that San Diego County gun owners has put on Sheriff Gore. And specifically, one guy went down there, a friend of mine, I sent him in and said, here, go give it a try. He said, well, I applied 2 years ago. They turned me down because of his good cause. And I said, try it again. And he went down there and he gave a couple reasons, and they actually sat there with him and said, hey, here's, what do you do? How do you do it? That sort of thing. Helped him craft his good cause policy statement. Now, nobody in San Diego history has ever, usually if you go down there, they'll ask you, hey, what's your
where's down there?
It's Ridgehaven in Claremont area. It's the sheriff's department, their headquarters.
Right by KUSI.
Right by KUSI.
Right on the other side of
right there off on the other side of Balboa.
Yep.
On View Ridge?
It's Ridgehaven is the street.
I know.
It's right off of, right close to Balboa.
Yep.
South.
So they actually sat with him and helped him craft his good cause statement, which has never ever happened before. And in the conversation with the clerk, she said, "Yeah, we're not asking for bank statements anymore. We're not asking for employer verification anymore. We're looking for reasons that to issue to people."
Did he get it?
So it's a little bit of a process. You got to go down and meet with them, fill out the application, and then they do the background check, and then they actually tell you, okay, go take the class. And then
how
once
much money
do
they take from you?
Well, if you don't get approved, it doesn't cost anything.
Well, yeah.
But soup to nuts, a CCW application, that includes the class, the fees, the fingerprinting, all that stuff. It's close to $500.
Yeah,
worth it.
Yeah, I think it's for their fee. If you can get a 2-year or a 3-year or whatever.
3 year.
Yeah, it's a 2 or 3 year.
I'm sorry, it's always 2 years. It's always 2 years.
Okay.
And then every 2 years you have to spend.
You got to renew. It's no less than.
Or it's 1 year
renew,
and then a 2-year. I think you can get there's on the website. There's an option. You can do 1 or 2 years or something like that.
It's all 2 year.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a couple different, like if you're a judge or if you're just doing it for business reasons. But what I want you to walk away with is. Call them up, make the appointment, number 1. Number 2, come up with a list of reasons that where you'd use a CCW to defend your life. Like, hey, I walk my dogs late at night. I go camping and hiking. I have a lot of equipment I work with, something like that. And then number 3, take it down there and have them walk you through the application process. And throw away everything you think you know about CCWs in San Diego just for now.
Right.
Just for now. Throw all that away because we're getting feedback that things have changed. And now, no matter what happens, if you get it or you don't get it, email me. Email me and tell me, hey, here was my experience, so that we can start to flesh this out and tell people, well, these are the changes. This is what's happening with CCWs. Now, another important thing is we're trying to figure out what does and doesn't pass for good cause these days. We think we've changed it. We think he's changed, and we're very proud of the pressure we put on to do that, but we don't know yet. But if you have a DUI, if you have any kind of arrest record, if you have some kind of domestic violence or something like that in your history, some kind of mental issues, like you've been, in some kind of institution or something like that, don't apply. That's not a good cause issue. That's just going to kind of muddy the waters. That's a background check issue. Right now, if you have a clean background, have no issues as far as, DUIs and domestic violence, that sort of thing. You're not a felon. Obviously, if you're a felon, you're not a gun owner. Go down and help us figure out what he is now taking for good cause. So that's what we're asking folks to do. And this is real activism. This is actual information. Right. This is moving the ball forward.
We should have a contest for the first person that gets one.
Yeah, really.
We should give them something. I mean, an hour at Gun Range San Diego or something. But
and I've been talking about this for about a week. It's just about, the information's about a week old. And like I said, this is real inside information. This is real.
You gonna go down, Lance?
It raises a lot of questions. So I was just thinking about, what if someone has a therapy dog? So they got a prescription for a therapy dog. Is that going to disallow them for a CCW? And how old? What if they have a DUI that's 30 years old?
All good questions. We don't know.
You'll find out since you have a therapy dog and you have a DUI.
So, absolutely.
But you were 3.
But I want to clarify. That is a background check issue.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to flesh out now,
just see if you can get to the background.
Want a good. We're trying to flesh out the good cause part.
You know what? I will be more than happy to go down and do my thing.
Do it. So
I have good cause.
What's your good cause?
I collect money every week, cash.
Yep.
Driving to I spend from like 9 in the morning until 6 at night collecting money.
Yeah,
and you're a public figure.
Yep, public figure.
And you live out
I live out in East County. That's another good reason. I live out
in the heck of nowhere.
Out in the heck of nowhere. I've got I've got a sheriff's station someplace down in Alpine, but no.
Okay, so what we just did, where we just came up with 3 reasons right off the bat with Dave. What Dave would do is write those 3 reasons down on a piece of paper, and when he goes, make his appointment. When he goes in for his appointment, he'd say, "Hey, here are the 3 reasons. These are good. This is good cause to me, but you need to tell me which of these 3 reasons matter to you."
Right,
right,
and let them help you.
Yeah,
and if they don't help you, then email me.
I am more than happy to go down and do that.
Good.
Only because if we don't get involved, we're never going to know anything.
Right.
And at least if I go, and I'm not gonna tell them I'm on the radio. I'm not, because I don't have to tell them anything unless they ask.
Yeah,
I want to go in as just a normal, public person coming in. I don't want to go in and say, "Hey, I'm on Gun Sports Radio, and you better make sure I get my CCW."
Well,
and get on the air.
And that's the other thing. Everybody, you got to be polite. These clerks,
yes.
These clerks, they don't make policy. They're just trying to help you out.
I can make the girls and guys at DMV laugh. Okay?
Oh my God!
So I know how to play the game. I can get in and out of DMV.
And don't forget to report back. Report back to San Diego County Gun Owners, whether you win or lose.
Absolutely. Hey, that's excellent. San Diego, Gun Range San Diego, thank you. Trident Gunsmithing, thank you. John Dillon, thank you. And San Diego County Gun Owners, join up, folks. They're going to be here next week. They're going to run this show without Lance, Joe, and I. It'll be wild.
No safety net.
No safety net. All right, folks. Rubber side down, shiny side up. We're out of here.
Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network.
Intelligent, conservative, AM 1170, The Answer. KCBQ, San Diego, a service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ at SALM.
News this hour from Town